Good morning. I'm KC, recording live from KC Collections in Buchanan, Virginia. We are conveniently located just 30 minutes north of Roanoke and 30 minutes south of Lexington. We offer Amish furniture and all the fixins to go with it. This morning's live is about choosing the right island. How do you pick? We're the region's largest supplier of Amish-made kitchen islands, and there's a lot to choose from. You can certainly pick from our sales floor, or you can custom order. So again, I'm KC with part one of our series, Choosing the Perfect Island for You. So let's get started. As I swing around this morning and start going through our sales floor, I want to give you some tips or tricks about different islands and how to choose. First of all, I want to remind you of our website. It's kccountryhomeaccents.com, and we have tons of island photos out there. If you go under Shop Collections, Amish Furniture, and then scroll down, we'll come back maybe a little later and look at Lancaster Legacy, which is our new upgraded line of furniture. But if you go down, you will find kitchen islands. And under kitchen islands, there are tons of islands listed out there. You can also sort your items by different things, whether you're looking for a butcher block or large bases or mini islands, etc. So I did want to take the time just to remind you of our website. There's a wealth of information out there. So now choosing a kitchen island, boy, it can be very hard. Wanted to give you some pointers, and according to the National Association of Home Builders and some recent surveys that have been done over the years, 76 to 80% of homeowners consider a kitchen island to be desirable as part of their kitchen. So why then are islands so desirable? Well, if you have one already, you know. It's just essential for extra storage. It gives you extra workspace. It adds a little style and efficiency to your kitchen. But most of all, in many cases, it actually unifies the heart of your home, which is your kitchen. In other words, it can bring your friends and family together to dine or socialize or to even cook. The island in many cases might even become the focal point of your home. So if your home doesn't already come equipped with an island, then certainly we can help out with that. We try to keep about 35 at any point in time on our sales floor, and there are certainly many ordering options as well. So this is part one, choosing a kitchen island, and I certainly can't give you all the tips or tricks in one series, so there will be a part two. But before you actually choose an island, and we see people coming in a number of times before they pick their island. The only exception to that is for people that are driving a great distance. What I find with those individuals is that they've called in and worked with an associate in store, or they've spent a lot of time studying our website and our Facebook Lives, and they call in and check quantities so that they know whether to drive that 2 to 3 hours and bring a trailer or not. You can also buy furniture in advance if that helps, if you're coming a large distance, and we'll have it ready for you when you get here. Again, if that's something that we sell you off our sales floor. So a couple of considerations to help you make sure that you pick the perfect island. Certainly coming in several times can do that, but things you should consider is picking your prime spot. And with that prime spot, I mean, not all kitchens are created equal. So the center of a room may not be, or your kitchen may not always be the ideal place for an island. It's really going to depend a lot on what you're going to use your island for. You also have to consider traffic flow. So in other words, what I mean by that is you're going to be adding this piece of furniture, which could be large, to your area. And ideally, you want to have about 3 to 4 feet of space to actually move around all sides of your island to be able to accommodate that traffic flow. So keep in mind that while a kitchen island might be something that you've desired for years, you want to make sure that it's going to conform to your kitchen and not kind of impede traffic flow. It has to improve your kitchen area rather than impede traffic flow. So definitely make sure that the island that you choose is going to work for you and add something to your kitchen rather than just making it a stumbling point with traffic. When you finally narrow down your island selection, one thing that you might consider is putting down painter's tape in your space at home so that you can truly get a feel for what an island addition might seem like in your space. Here at KC Collections in Buchanan, Virginia, we offer handcrafted, affordable Amish furniture. We work with you in store. Our team members are not commission based, so what that means is we're really trying really hard to make sure that you get the island or other piece of furniture that works for you, not being concerned about maybe our paychecks at the end of the day. So that's a little bit different. We also don't mark our furniture way up to mark it way down to put it on sale. So in other words, rest assured you're getting everyday low pricing every day of the week. So narrow down those kitchen island choices. Rest assured it's handcrafted Amish furniture. It's really from the Amish farms through our hands to your home. We actually send our trucks to pick them up. So painter's tape, as I was saying, as you narrow down your island selection, you might want to just kind of rope it off, if you will, and make sure that that island's going to fit for you. So once you've picked the prime spot, remembering that not all kitchens are created equally, and you want to make sure you don't impede traffic, then I guess step 2 of really a 4-step process would be to consider what is the main purpose of your island. In other words, what is the most benefit that you are trying to get from having an island? Do you like to bake? Is this island going to provide you extra room to be able to do some baking? Do you just need extra storage? And so many of us can relate to that. And when you're considering storage, do you need a combination of doors and drawers, like many of the islands that you see? Or would you prefer to have, instead of doors on this or drawers on this island, all doors? So really think about what is the goal. If storage is the goal, what are you trying to store in there? And do you need drawers? Because in some cases, like in my household, those would become junk drawers. So I opted for doors on the front rather than drawers. Again, KC recording live from KC Collections in the quaint, beautiful town of Buchanan, Virginia. We're 30 minutes north of Roanoke and 30 minutes south of Lexington, and if you haven't had time to come in, we'd love to see you. Don't forget, we do have a website that'll show these islands, dimensions, and a lot more detail. And as far as what I was saying just a moment ago about not having drawers, notice this is an extra large island and it has all doors. So extra storage. The main purpose of your island, again, are you baking? Are you trying to have storage? And then another question to consider as you think about that is how many people are you trying to seat on a regular basis? That's very important. Now, if your island is going to be sort of an informal dining space, then ideally you want about 24 inches between each person. And for leg room, you want to make sure there's a 9 to 12 inch clearance between the knees and the bottom of your island counter. You're seeing here in the foreground a butcher block island, as well as one of our rustic barn door islands, and we'll come back and talk about those a little bit later. So the main purpose, think about really what your island is for. So prime spot, main purpose, steps 1 and 2 as you start to think about or consider an island. Now, if you have a very small kitchen, what you want to keep in mind, if you need extra counter space to prep your meals, then you really want a clean and clutter-free workspace. That's very important. You don't want this island just to become another spot to throw down your mail, etc. So, kind of think about all of that as you're considering. Now, step 3 in picking or choosing an island for you is thinking about different materials that you may want the island to be made of, whether it's countertop materials or design of the island or features. And that's where we start to focus our attention. In other words, now you've thought about where you want it to go. You know the ideal measurements of what you need, and you've looked at our website or been in store to pick the style island that you think is going to work for you, doors or drawers. And now we get down to some details. In other words, the island, whether it's the central point of your home or not, you've got to think about color and stain choices, and we'll get there in a moment. But depending on the prime spot, you want to make materials or decisions about the island materials top. And base this on your needs in addition to the look. In other words, if you're going to be doing a lot of chopping, then that butcher block island is going to, work better for you. If, in looking at materials and designs, you're more concerned about making a high impact in your kitchen, and you want something that's just going to be a wow factor and kind of definitely be a showcase piece for your customers, then I'm going to swing you around to our newest line, which is Lancaster Legacy. And in this particular line, as I move this bench out in front of this granite island I'm trying to show you, notice the granite top island. Beautiful. Definitely a statement piece, shown here on an oak base in a Michaels color. So with Lancaster Legacy, it's all hardwoods, and you can also get a granite top. If you're not looking to move into the Lancaster Legacy line of furniture, which is definitely the Mercedes line of furniture, but before I kind of move away, I want you to see our showcase piece. And our islands in store range from $3.95, which was a mini island that I showed you a little bit ago, to $2.999, which is this extension island. It's shown here in an antique pewter base and an antique briar top, and it actually is an extension island where you can pull it apart. The leaves store inside, and it's got a self-gearing mechanism. And notice in this upgraded line of furniture, while we're not going to spend a lot of time on seating today, you can see that we have island benches and different style stools. So picking the right island, focusing on the materials, the details, and the other features, whether you're looking for that high impact such as granite or butcher block, or in this particular case, this is a rustic island. Notice the rustic finish looks just a little bit different. It's a barn door island. To get this particular look, this is actually an all pine island. So to get this particular rustic look, we have to put that in an all pine island. Again, butcher block is definitely an option for a high impact. The vast majority of our islands in store do have wormy maple tops as well as pine bases. So you have the hardwoods where you need it, where the traffic is concerned, and the lighter woods where it's not as important. With Lancaster Legacy, oh my, there are so many options with Lancaster Legacy. And again, this is a real upgraded line of furniture that we're so happy to be able to carry. You can see there are choices from oak to red oak to brown maple, cherry, etc., and so many different stains and colors. So Lancaster Legacy, the ones in store that we have are oak and brown maple. Hope you're doing well. I'm KC recording live in part 1 of Choosing the Island for You. Now, we're focusing on the materials, the designs, and the features. So we've talked about that high impact granite, rough sawn, hand planed, rustic, butcher block, but there are other features that can add visual appeal as well. Notice the turn legs on this particular island. It certainly makes a statement, adds a little extra benefit, and it can just, in addition to that, add a little more character to your kitchen. Now, let's say that you have an existing island in your kitchen. And notice this is a rough sawn top, by the way, before I go on. Rough sawn top is a wormy maple top as well, but it adds a little bit of character. But let's say you have an existing island in your kitchen and you want to just upgrade the top that's on it. Well, we can help out with that. We can order just the top of an island for you. Or let's say that you already have an existing piece of granite that you want to use, and you need an island base. Well, we certainly can help with that as well. So far this morning, we've been focusing a lot on choosing the right island because there's a lot to consider. Whether you're thinking about the prime spot and fitting the traffic flow, or thinking about the main purpose of your island and making sure that it's going to fit and maybe marking it off with some painter's tape in the space that you think it's going to go. And we just talked a little bit about choosing materials, designs, and other features. Well, now, that big choice. The final thing to focus on would really be color and seating. So good morning to everyone that's tuning in this morning. I certainly appreciate it. We're on the downhill swing here of part 1 of choosing the right island. And the final choices are color and seating. In other words, what color do you want? How are you going to pick the color that you need to go with your kitchen? Well, there's a lot to think about when you're considering colors and stains. You know, if you wanted to bring in a current picture of your cabinets or your flooring, that can definitely help us help you. But keep in mind that photos can be very deceiving. So if you're a matchy-matchy person, the best way that we can help you would be if you would bring in a wood sample of whatever you're trying to match, whether it's your cabinets or whether it's your flooring. You know, ideally both if you're matchy-matchy and you want to make sure that you're picking the color island or stain of island that's going to work best for you. Or another approach, if you really want to increase your kitchen's wow factor, is you could choose an island with a contrasting color from the rest of the kitchen. If you're picking a real upgraded island and wherever you're putting it, you want it to really have a wow factor, then you could just pick a completely different color, a different contrasting color for your island than, let's say, your cabinets. Or if you are trying to make your area look larger where you have this island, in other words, when someone looks into your kitchen, you want them to kind of have that island fall out of sight, if you will, and make the space appear larger, then match the color of your island to your interior walls. And that's definitely a good disappearing act. Seating. So you can see there's a lot of thought process to go into this island selection. If you're looking for an island such as this one's called our CT63. It's our standard island, comes in a multitude of colors. We have a lot of these on our sales floor. Notice it has overhang not only on each side, but also the back side. So this particular island, with its overhang on 3 sides, allows us to have functionality in the front of both doors and drawers. Sorry for the slight delay in the broadcast there. I've installed all the equipment that I can to make these go smoothly, so I'll definitely be checking into that. So seating choices, it can seat 4 people. Our saddle stools are loved by so many people. And in a moment, I'll try to show you a country saddle stool. It's up near the front of the store, so in a moment, I'll dash up there and clear off that country saddle stool so I can show it to you. But for the moment, the saddle stools, they're not only very functional, they kind of slide under the edge of the island, but they're exceptionally comfortable. Also notice on the back side, we could pair up with ladder back pubs. So you see our ladder back pubs here, they're very comfortable as well. We also offer swivel bar stools. So instead of a ladder back pub, if you wanted to order more like a Windsor kind of chair, but in a swivel, we can do that as well. Our saddle stools, one thing that we're very happy about is that we can now get these in a swiveling format. So we can order those from our Lancaster Legacy line and pair up with any of our other island choices. So that's definitely something to consider. As I go back up to show you this country saddle stool at the very front of the store, gotten it cleared off now, most people pick a country saddle stool because they like how it looks. I'll be honest with you, it's not the most comfortable piece of furniture in the world, but there are some folks that don't like the saddle stool look, and they choose to go with the country saddle stool because maybe not a lot of time is going to be spent in those stools, or maybe some smaller children are going to be sitting in them and it's not going to really matter to them as well. As I've wound down here in part 1, choosing the right island, I also want to show you some other new benches that can match up nicely to our existing island selection from our other vendors besides Lancaster Legacy. Every piece is sold separately. So if you like this Colby bench, we can certainly order that and match it up to some of our other existing islands. Or if you like that bench and you want it in a 4-foot version, then I'm going to mosey on back here and find that 4-foot bench for you again. And I will do that in just a moment, but I want to remind you first of our website. I'll show you that 4-foot island or 4-foot bench in just a moment. Here's one right here I can show you. Notice this one is actually longer than 4 foot. It's about 66 inches. And if you go on our website, you can also see the different choices that are available. But there's that 4-foot bench. You know, you can match that up instead of 2 ladder-back pubs behind one of our existing islands. So the beautiful thing about how we do business here at KC Collections is that everything is sold individually. So you can mix and match from the different lines of furniture the things that you like. This weekend we had some folks that weren't in the market for Lancaster Legacy Island, but they certainly love to be able to buy those swivel saddle stools and take them home with the island that they chose. So as a final thought this morning, as I wind down in part 1, again, I want to remind you of our website. It's kccountryhomeaccents.com. If you go under Shop Collections, Amish Furniture, there are several sections here. Notice that Lancaster Legacy is at the top. And if we pick islands, tells you a lot about the line too. It's definitely a beautiful line of furniture. You can see the different islands that we have in stock. And as you go into each of these, notice it says from. That's not the island. Again, apologies there for the technical difficulty. As you see on the very first page, it said from 160. That's referring to different items that are inside here. For example, if we pick this Clifton stool, rather from 180, notice it's just showing the things that we've paired up with it. If we go back to the very home page, if you scroll down some, you can see our kitchen island section. And there are tons of islands out there in our kitchen island section. You can certainly sort them right here. Or if you wanted to take a look at a little mini island, you can see the dimensions there and what it's made of and a lot of more information about it. If you have a question about whether we have a particular item in stock, because our website isn't deemed to be able to, or to say rather that we have all products in stock at all times, you're certainly welcome to call in with this SKU number and we're happy to help you. For now, I'm KC signing off for KC and the team here at KC Collections in Buchanan, Virginia. We're winding down on part 1 of choosing the right island. We will be launching another event this week where we'll talk more about islands. We'll talk about different paint, colors, and seating choices. So I think you'll find that part very fun. Remember the 4 steps. Pick the prime spot and fit it to traffic flow. Determine the main purpose of your island. Focus in on materials, designs, and other features. Once you have that down pat, we can certainly go to part 2, which is focus on color and seating. For now, that's a wrap. KC signing off for KC and the team in Buchanan, Virginia. We're wishing you a blessed week.